Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. We are here. We are live and we are ready because, by God, it is the Championship Preview Game Week. Number one, we've been doing this for years on the channel, but the first of 46 episodes every week, every game week, we will be here embarrassing ourselves, making our predictions as to how these games are going to pay out in the most unpredictable division you can possibly get. Hopefully, you can all hear me and you can all see me. Jamie can, Annie can, and Jason can. If you can, then we will begin. We're going to go through every single game. But before we do that, we must say a huge thank you to our fan sponsor on this show. We are sponsored by the Donovan brothers in loving memory of Michael of Belvedere, a lifelong Millwall fan and admirer of the show who sadly died this year. I spoke to the brothers. I went on Zoom with them. Michael was a fan of the show and they've chosen to sponsor. So they will be the sponsor for this show all season, and we thank them very, very much. Right, with that being said, let's get into it now. Love this channel, but I think you got your Bournemouth prediction wrong. There we go. Well, the great thing about my 1 to 24 predictions this year is if you have a go, you will win a £100 cash prize. So go and check that out elsewhere. So there's no point telling me that you think I'm going to be wrong, because go ahead and prove me wrong and beat me. There we go. Hello to Lee, Oliver, Chris is here. Guess who the ref is at Vicarage Road? Mike Dean, Anthony is here. And yeah, love to the Donovans. Brilliant stuff. Great bunch. Had a nice long chat with them. Proper Millwall supporters, those boys are. Right, let's throw up the fixtures. And as ever, you guys know what the deal is here. You need to let me know whether you think home win, away win, or draw. We've got no form to go on, frankly, which is unfortunate, but that always happens on the first game of the season. So what I've done is I've taken screenshots of the League Cup teams for all of these teams playing, and hopefully that will give us some indication as to what sort of standing everybody is in going into this game. So first off, let's have a little look at the fixtures. There they are indeed. Watford versus Middlesbrough. That is our curtain raiser. That will be tomorrow night, and we will be here with a watch along ready for that one. Then Wycombe versus Rotherham. Immediately the two of the three promoted teams meeting, two of the three promoted League One teams meeting on the first weekend. Birmingham Brentford, which was an opening day game last season, wasn't it? Cardiff Sheffield Wednesday, and Bournemouth Blackburn. Barnsley Luton, which would have been first and second from League One last season, wouldn't it? If that game had been the first game last season. Bristol City Coventry, Derby versus Reading, Huddersfield versus Norwich, QPR versus Forest, Millwall versus Stoke, and if I remove the banner for a second, Preston versus Swansea City as well. So some interesting matchups to begin with. We will try and figure out where we're going with all this, given the paucity of information we have so far. So let's start with Watford versus Borough. As I say, we'll be doing that one as a watch along tomorrow night. So do come and join in there. Vladimir Ivic versus Neil Warnock. This was Ivic's first team he played. It'd be interesting if it is a 4-2-2-2. The old Brazilian magic square there. Sierra Alta is a debutant there, if you look in there on the bench as well. it's going to be interesting with Watford how many of these players they keep. But people like Wilmot, he was on loan at Swansea last season, wasn't he? Shall I poke round the side? You can see me. Andre Gray, Glenn Murray, lots of big names in there. Let me know how you think Watford Borough will go. I'll come to your comments in just a second. I don't think we'll be that far away from that as the Middlesbrough team, I have to say. I think it'll be Fletcher and Assombalonga up top. In fact, all the way around, I can see that being the case. We might expect Bettinelli to be in for Watford versus Middlesbrough on. Let's have a look here. Anir says home win. Watford v Borough has a 2-2 Warnock masterclass written on it. Jamie says 1-1. Hip says 3-1. Home win here. What time does Mendes arrive at Borough? Yeah, there we go. Maybe we're expecting Mendes Lang to wind up at Middlesbrough with Neil Warnock, who's managed him before. Home win, Wilmot masterclass, says Brookham. I think I'm with you guys on Watford on this one. I had Watford finishing highly in the division. So I'll go with that. We have no idea on a couple of the newly relegated teams, but we expect Watford will probably be okay. Katie says Borough bid for Morsey. It's going to happen, isn't it? Russ says Borough win 3-1 Watford. Hulk smash like button for Ben. Love that. Where are we going next in our fixtures? We are going to Wycombe versus Rotherham. 6-pointer already. I had both of these sadly being relegated, I think. Wycombe we had a look at, and it won't be too much different than that. Maybe Daryl Horgan might be pushing for a start after scoring off the bench. There maybe Tafazoli at centre-half might be pushing as well. It's going to be a long, hard trawl for Wycombe. Forgive me, I don't know the results between the two teams last season. Get your thoughts in. Wycombe versus Rotherham, home, away, draw. Rotherham there, the old Paul Warne 4-4-2. We are expecting Blackman getting the nod in goal over Johansson there. Look out for Ehekwe. He's a good player. Look out for Ogbene as well. Sadly has come in on the left wing as well. Let's look at your comments on that. Have I done Reading Derby yet? No. As Forestieri signed for Watford yet. We think Forestieri is going to go. He's gone to Udinese. He's going to end up on loan at Watford pretty soon. John says 2-1 Rotherham. Akinfenwa brace. He'll have to do it in probably the last 15 minutes because that's all he'll likely be getting. 0-1 Rotherham. If it's going to be a positive result for either team, it'll probably be a 1-goal win with a clean sheet. Evening to John. 1-0 Rotherham. Draw written all over it. 1-1. 0-0. 2-1 Wycombe. There we go. We get a Wycombe win in there somewhere. 4-5-1 this season for Rotherham. Yeah, we saw 4-5-1 a fair bit last season as well, didn't we? Well, I think I did actually. Rotherham to win, says Anthony. Wycombe. 3-0 Rotherham. Wes Harding hat-trick there. From fullback, Glenn says Wycombe, Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday means Luton will stay up. Yeah, that's what I went for. 2-1 Wycombe, 2-1 Wycombe. That's a fairly mixed in that one there, guys. Fairly mixed. Scrolling backwards, Birmingham versus Brentford. Get your predictions in. Birmingham versus Brentford. Birmingham lost at home to Cambridge in the League Cup. This will be Aitor Karanka's first league game. He returns back to the Championship after falling out with Mr. Marianakis. I don't think that back four is that far off what we're going to see. In fact, right the way through the team, we're fairly similar. Obviously, Jutkovic will come in up top. And Clayton, well, obviously, Keefton Belt's a bit of a legend there at Birmingham, isn't he? And Sunic was very expensive. Maybe Terrell comes in, but Crowley likely to retain the number 10 position. So get your thoughts in on this one. Birmingham at home to Brentford. Watkins has gone. We all know that. I think Valencia is going out on loan as well from that 11. I don't suspect we'll see Ben Rama. it's always a telltale at the start of the season, isn't it? If we don't see Benrahma, we know he's off pretty soon, don't we? In terms of that back four, expect Pontus Jansson to come in, expect David Raya to come in. Rico Henry will swap back over. Dalsgaard will come in. In the midfield, Norgard will come in for Zambarek, likely. Tony will get his go. Expect Mbuemo to come back. And maybe Kanyos to switch. Maybe Fosu stays in. I suspect we're waiting for Mr. Benrahma. And then I reckon 2 or 3 players in at Brentford. Let's have a little look here at your predictions here. We will rattle through. John, who's pretty hot on Birmingham, I have to say, says 1-1. 2-0 B says Hip. 1-0 Brentford. 3-2 Brentford. That'd be exciting. 3-1 Brentford. Birmingham, I hope, says Brickan. Birmingham 1-0. 0-0 Brentford got now up top, and neither have we. Interesting. 4-0 Brentford. Ewan's going in with the big guns. 2-0 Brentford. 1-1 at St Andrews. I feel Brentford are not yet up and running. Brentford traditionally slow starters. 2-0 Brentford, 2-1 Brentford, 2-1 Birmingham, 1-0 Brentford. Fairly mixed here. Remember, if this was at the end of last season, we would have had a complete landslide of predictions for Brentford in this one, the way they both finished last season. BMW has become FHTC. There we go. 1-1 says Jordan. Alistair. 3-1. 2-0 Brentford there. Do you know what? I think Brentford might have enough in this one. I'm not sure. I think both sides will take a while to get going. I think Brentford might just have more in terms of what should we call it? Historic pattern of play and lots of good habits learned to get them through this one. Matthew says Birmingham have signed Neil Etheridge from Cardiff. Is that true? He'll be in the first team if they have, ahead of Prieto, I would have thought. So that'd probably be quite a good signing. Stockdale's gone out to Wickham today, hasn't he? That massive contract that he has. Who's next? Cardiff without Nathaniel Mendez-Lang and Sheffield Wednesday. Cardiff versus Sheffield Wednesday. The -12. Can they get to -9? That was the Cardiff team. They lost somewhere. Was it Northampton? I can't recall. Yeah, and I think a couple of guys are confirming that Etheridge has gone to Birmingham. Smithies had played him out of the team there, hadn't he? A Bamba Morrison partnership might be back. Love that. Nelson shoved across to right back there. Bennett, look out for Osei Tutu. Yeah, imagine Flint never gets back in that team. A 7 million Championship centre-half there. We'll see what Harris has got. Wednesday, well, they're up against it from the beginning, aren't they? Izzy Brown up top, maybe? They did in the last game. Who knows with Wednesday? Who knows? I'm going to go for a home win in this one. Get your thoughts in. Cardiff versus Wednesday. John says 800 grand for Etheridge. Has that gone through? It's literally like I need to do a transfer update video under every 24 hours at the moment. It's just really flying, isn't it? 2-0 Bluebirds, says Russ. David, one of the Donovan brothers, is in. Sponsor to the show. We'll say thank you to him. 2-0 Wednesday. Wow. 2-0 Cardiff. 2-0 Cardiff. Yeah, nice one, Lee. 1-1. 2-0 Cardiff. 1-1. 2-0 Cardiff. This is fairly resounding here, isn't it? 3-0 Cardiff, 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 Cardiff. There we go. Anthony, 1 Wednesday in there. Don't worry, Wednesday have Jordan Rhodes. Yes, they do. How much football he'll see. Sorry, my shirt is gaping. Shocking. No one wants to see that. I'm going for Cardiff on that one. I'm with most of the chat on that one. Really quick plug. Let me stick the banner up across the bottom. Support via Super Chat right here, right now. If you want to support, even if it's 79p, go for it. Every little helps. Patreon, that's going great. We're looking at some more extra bonus content there. And Amazon Shopfront, people have been enjoying. And guys, we have reached 12,000 subs. I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you each and every one of you for subscribing. Where are we going next? We're going to Bournemouth I've upset all the Bournemouth fans in my 1 to 24 by having them 14th. Of course, I will say again, I will be totally happy to be wrong. There's just always one that I get totally wrong. So I'm trying to reverse preempt the one I get wrong by doing a balmy prediction like Bournemouth in 14th. Remember, if you disagree with me, you can put your own 1 to 24 in and you can possibly win a £100 prize. So please go and do that on the other video. Closing date is 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Bournemouth are loaded, though, with players, I do have to say, despite the chaos there. Mepham, obviously, out of Brentford. Huge sign there we're familiar with. Not quite so sure on Jordan Archer. Jefferson Lerma, Lewis Cook, got Jack Stacey, who starred at Luton. Stanislaus Solanke. Sam Surridge, someone mentioned to me. Philip Billing, he cost a fortune, didn't he? They've got a few, haven't they? We'll see what Jason Tyndall and what Bournemouth are going to do. They're up against Tony Mowbray, who's 4-3-3, 4-5-1 in it there with Brereton up top. Look out for Armstrong. If he's going to make it to the Premier League, he needs to continue with what he was doing last season. I don't know whether they're fit. I guess Lenihan would come in at centre-half there as well. And they have signed a Scandinavian of some descent goalkeeper as well. Let's have a look at your comments on this one. Where do they start? There we go. We've got the best starting 11 in the league. 3-0 Bournemouth, says just there for the views. Join the Patreon. Hoping you get that mid-table. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you so much for signing up, Superstar. 0-0, 2-1 Blackburn. All of the Bournemouth fans, so 10. Believe me, there's been more than 10 comments on the video. Cool Tattoo says Hammerstad. There it is. Can you see it? You can't. There you go. Go upside down. Can't do that. Graham Jones, assistant manager masterclass. Tremendous stuff. Where am I going? Bournemouth 1, Blackburn 1. I like Mowbray. I like Mowbray too. 1-1, 1-1. Russ. Where am I looking? 1-1, 1-0. Low scoring draw. Not much in the way of Blackburn here. Let's put the cat among the pigeons then. I'll predict them 14th, but they're going to win on the opening day. Let's go for a Bournemouth home win then, just to keep some of the Bournemouth fans I've peed off happy. Right, where are we going next? I think I revealed there. Barnsley versus Luton, the darlings of post-lockdown escapism, Houdini-Axe, Barnsley and Luton. At Barnsley, their new centre-half in at Barnsley earlier today, Polish chap whose name I can't remember. Start of a nice-looking team building there. You'll see number 7 there in the subs, Jacob Brown. Well, he's not going to be there because he's gone to Stoke. Look out for Callum Stiles. I had him in my 10 to watch players 21 or under. You can go and watch that video elsewhere on the channel. Luton, look out for Reece Norrington-Davis, who is also in my 10 youngsters to watch. I think that'll all be fairly similar. Expect James Bree to play right back. Expect Lockyer to come in at centre back. Don't ask me who for, though. And otherwise, I'm not sure Elliot Lee will make it. Otherwise, it should be fairly similar. Get your thoughts in on this one. I'm going to go for Barnsley, but I think Luton will score in this one, I have to say. Nick says Luton win, 1-1, 4-2 Luton, 3-1 Collins Brace. James Collins scored a hat-trick, didn't he, in the League Cup? 4-3, Katie's high. Glenn's even higher, 6-0, goodness me. 2-1 Barnsley, 2-1, 1-1, 3-1, 3-3, 2-0, Luton by a couple. We're mixed-ish on that. I think that, I'm looking again. 1-0. Okay, it's completely mixed. I could be proved wrong on this. I better stick with my prediction then, but very much a third home, a third draw, and a third away with you guys here on that one. Barnsley versus Luton. I think it'll be a good game, actually. Hopefully, playing without pressure as well. Is there any pressure in the first game of the season? Builds up as you go, doesn't it? Right, who have we got next? We have got Bristol City versus New Boys, Coventry. Bristol City, Dean Holden, first game as manager here. We are expecting 3 at the back. Stick Alfie Mawson into that back 3 as well. Chris Brunt has signed. Chris Martin has signed as well. Will we finally get a tune out of Casey Palmer? Will Nicholas Eliasson actually start some games? Will anything change whatsoever under Dean Holden than it did under Lee Johnson? I've got no blooming clue. Bit of an unknown quantity. We do know, keep your predictions coming in. They're flying in. Love it. Coventry played good football, standout best side in League One last season. Look out for Shipley. Hamer was over £1 million. Godden will score the goals. Also, look on the bench. Tyler Walker. Could it be a breakout season for him? Looking all right there. Ben Sheaf has come in on loan from Arsenal, hasn't he? And Østegård in from Brighton on loan. I am going to go for, before I've even seen your predictions, let's go for a mad Coventry away win on the opening day. Cat amongst pigeons at Bristol City. Why the hell not, hey? Let's see what you guys are saying here. 1-1 says Russ, 2-2. 3-1, 1-1, 2-2. Thrillers tend to come on the opening games. The teams are a bit dishevelled. I love dishevelled. Brilliant stuff. 2-0 Bristol, 3-0 Bristol City. Shock Horror Anir predicts Bristol City to win there. 2-1 Cov, 2-1 Bristol City. A few bits of love for Coventry. Alfie Mawson masterclass. There we go. Everyone honing in on their extra players. Classic game, Bristol City should win, but will ruin 90% of the country's accumulators. Brilliant stuff. It's going to be Palmer, Vyman, and Joe Williams as well. Yes, signed him, didn't they? Another of the many, many players out of Wigan. 3-1 Bristol City, says Ewan. Okay, I'll stick with Cov, but yeah, it's the opening day. We're going to have fun with our predictions here, can't we? Where are we going next, guys? We are going to Derby County versus Reading. Derby versus Reading. Give me home away draw. Home away draw. Derby versus Reading. We did the watch along, didn't we, of Derby versus Barrow. Possibly, I think Koku might end up going back to a back four in the end. Has Nathan Byrne been completed? Can anybody let me know? In which case they do have a right back to replace Bogle. Slight downgrade, but good player, Nathan Byrne. Nonetheless, Bogle was just superb, wasn't he? Expect Rooney, obviously, to come into the midfield, probably for Knight. Evans, Clark, Taveric. Yeah, that all looks fine. Maybe Marshall will be the starting keeper. I wouldn't have thought they'd signed him for any other reason than to start him. So, yeah, I quite like the look of Derby, and I really like the look of Max Bird. Again, you may or may not see him in my 10 under-21 players to watch. Reading, who the hell knows under Veljko Paunovic? You can see there, Lucas Yao scored a hat-trick in their opening game. Look out for Michael Elise. You may or may not find him in my 10 players under-21 to watch. We just don't know with Ivic, with Holden, with Paunovic. Who else is new? Tyndall, like loads of new managers in. What am I saying? I'm saying Derby home win on that one, I think. So is Katie. So is Jason. 1-1, 1-1, 4-0. God, Glenn, what are you doing? 2-1, 3-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-1. 3-0, 2-0, Reading, 1-1, 3-1. Fairly mixed, mainly draws and home wins, I think. Or am I just saying that biased because that's exactly what I predicted? Michael Elise is a star of the future. I love it. Sean says, yes, Derby did sign him. I need to do it. We'll do one first thing in the morning. In fact, I might bring it up in the stream in a minute. We'll look at more new signings if we have time in the stream, which we will, won't we? We do some Q&A after this as well. Where are we going next? Let's have a look. I think we're going to Huddersfield. Huddersfield versus Norwich, who I had number one, spoiler alert, in my 1-24 home draw away. Huddersfield versus Norwich. That's what Huddersfield did in their last game. Does it look particularly appetising? I'm not really sure it does. I assume Lewis O'Brien is fit and he'll come in to play in there. if we don't see Carl and Grant, that's fairly revealing. When I was doing my research, actually, for the youngsters video, I think 22 as well, Carl and Grant. Heavy link with West Brom in the Premier League. So now that is Norwich's reserve team, apparently. So Quake in your boots, Championship division. Expect Cruel to come in. And then, again, we're going to find out tomorrow who we don't see. Sorry, on Saturday. Who we don't see for Norwich might inform who's going. And we're talking, obviously, about Aaron's, Godfrey, Campbell, Buendia, Pookie. And I suspect one or other of them won't be in the squad because they won't be risked and a deal is going to be done. Similar to Ben Rama. These players who are leaving just don't tend to play, do they? Expect the Spanish left-back to come in. Expect Ben Gibson to make his debut. That's another good signing, probably alongside Zimmerman. Maybe McCallum plays if Aaron's is going to be one that's sold. Look out for Sørensen coming into central midfielder. Look out for Oliver Skip. God, they're loaded, aren't they? Look out for Kieran Dow. Look out for Placheta. Oh, my God. And Pookie to come in up front. Norwich are just going to walk this, aren't they? I'm going for an away win for Norwich just based on that ludicrously stacked squad that they have got. Let's have a look here. We can go any higher than that. 3-0 Norwich, 2-1 Norwich, 4-0 Norwich, 4-1, 3-0, 4-0 Norwich, 2-1 Huddersfield because Norwich lose their opening game of every season. Nah. 2-0 Norwich, 3-0, 2-1. Huddersfield fans seem very worried about the season ahead. Yes, they are. 3-1 Norwich. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Yes, famously, Patrick Stewart is a Huddersfield fan, isn't he? Huddersfield will finish bottom. Dear oh me. Oh, Buendia suspended, is he, Russ? Okay. So take that theory out. How many games is he suspended for, Russ? Let me know, will you, please? 3-1 Norwich, the start of Huddersfield getting relegated. God, we're not very high on. Everyone's very high on Norwich and very low on Huddersfield. Deary me, this will turn out to be the game that ruins my acca and be a 1-1 draw. Oh, hang on, where's Oliver? Now Oliver is a Huddersfield fan and a Patreon, so we will bow to his superior knowledge. He says Huddersfield 0, Norwich 3. Really worried for the season ahead. Ouch. But in other news, I have met Patrick Stewart at the university. I work there. Is he not like the dean of the university or something, Oliver? What a legend. Hey, Oliver says, never forget Colchester beat Norwich 7-1 at Carrow Road. Hey, the game that changed Norwich's fortune for the next 10 years, basically, that one. I remember that one. Do you know what I remember that? I remember watching those goals come through and I had indigestion. I was at a gig and I wolfed down my food and I nearly coughed it all up then. Ewan says Ben Hamer own goal. Obviously, a Derby fan, not fond of Hamer's lone performance there. Last season, we're fairly unanimous on a Norwich away win there at Huddersfield. QPR versus Forest. I think I had QPR 11th. I had Forest up in 5th. That wound a few people up. QPR, well, there's no Eze anymore. Expect Lyndon Dykes to come in up front there. Otherwise, I'm starting to like the look of that. He signed very Warburton players in Dickey and Carroll as well. They're going to be very, very open, but they're going to be very, very good to watch, is what I will say about QPR. Exactly the same as they were last year. And the question is, how badly will they miss Eze? Was he really propping them up last year? We will find out. By the way, get your predictions in. Sorry, I should have said that. QPR versus Forest. I'll do a quick plug as well. Super chat. You can super chat right now. Every little helps. Patreon, go subscribe. I know we've got quite a few Patreons watching. Amazon shop as well. And 12,000 subscribers. Look, that says 10,000 if I point there. We have done it. Thank you, everybody. Let's look at Forest, where we would expect. Well, what would we expect? I wouldn't expect to see Tyler Brackett, but maybe Joe Worrell might be conspicuous, with his absence. Where will he put Luke Freeman? Will he put him out on the left, or will he let him have a number 10 type position where you can see João Carvalho there? Expect Colback to come in central midfield. In fact, expect that to be a 4-2-3-1. Maybe Jenkinson over Gabriel as they try and solve the Matt Cash problem. I did not see Sambasau in that either, who was really good for Forest and really put their numbers up last year. 1-0 Forest, 2-2. 3-2 QPR because they don't defend. Love it. 90th minute header from Watson. Ben Watson for Nottingham Forest. Congrats on it. Thank you. Hoping for a draw. 2-2. 2-0 Forest. 2-1 Forest. He was the Chancellor, Patrick Stewart. He was replaced by Prince Andrew. Oh dear. Are we allowed to mention his name anymore? 1-0. 2-0. Samuel and Manning not signing new deals. Oh, God, yeah. I didn't mention Manning there. Manning scored in that game, actually, didn't he? Plymouth. 1-0 Forest. Forest to win. Freeman to be instrumental. Very interested to see how does Luke Freeman work with Sabri Lamucci, who is proper team shape and defensive shape. And Luke Freeman is not. But we'll see. Big fan of Luke Freeman's, by the way, and a big fan of Sabri Lamucci. So we'll see how they work together on that. Where are we going next? I've lost mid slide. There we go. We're going to Millwall versus Stoke. By God, I wound some people up as well by having Stoke in 4th place. I'm expecting Stoke to not stitch me up this season and actually perform their spend and their size and their squad, which they haven't done. Millwall always punching. Get your predictions in. Millwall versus Stoke. I think Troy Parrott is injured, so don't expect Troy Parrott. I'm sure we've got Millwall in the chat. We always do. Jed Wallace, front right there, in for Connor Mahoney, likely. Otherwise, Ben Thompson's in there, isn't he? Scott Malone and Murray Wallace into the back three. Surely Jake Cooper's going to play in the middle of that back three, not Murray Wallace. But then again, sometimes you want the middle guy to be the spare guy on the ball, not the man marker. Maybe Jake Cooper is that. You just wouldn't want Jake Cooper against a winger isolated with space to his side, would you? Big fan of Jake Cooper's, but that ain't his game. Stoke, who are starting to look loaded. Can they actually play their form now? Obviously, Jacob Brown has come in. Look out for Tyrese Campbell, who was also in my 10 to watch there. Nice looking team, very experienced. Follow Michael O'Neill's instructions. There might be some low scoring games, but they might win a lot of them with clean sheets and things of that nature. So 2-2 Clucas goal. My boss is a Stoke fan and it puts him in a bad mood. You don't want your boss to be in a bad... Oh, yes, of course. Yes, so come on, Stoke. There you go. Millwall 1-0. Heart says 2-0. Head says 1-1. Always go with the head, Alex. Never let your head... your emotion overdo your reason. Yes, of course, Runwoods can't play. He's on loan, isn't he? Very good point. Well made. 2-1 Stoke. 1-0 Stoke, says Sloth, who's a Stoke fan. You can still find them. 2-1 Stoke, 2-0 Stoke. 0-0, hardest game to predict. 2-1 Millwall, 0-0. Sponsor, David, says 2-0 Matt Smith there. 1-0 Millwall. Come on, Stoke, says John, 1-1. Millwall 2-0 Millwall. Rowett loves a draw. O'Neill loves a draw. Hang on, Chris is here. He's always good for a prediction. My predicted 3rd versus 4th. Give us your score then, Chris. Come on. We're waiting for you, buddy. I'm going to go for a low-scoring draw in this one. So 0-0 or a 1-1 there, and neither Rowett or O'Neill losing this opening tussle. I'm going to have to remove my banner at the bottom there for you to see. Preston versus Swansea City playoff semi-final losers, Swansea City from last season. Let's have a look and see how they both lined up in their last games. Preston are still playing Alan Brown at right back. I know I bang on about this. I can't get my head around this. Really good number 10. Alan Browner, maybe Sinclair starts. Look out for Tom Bayliss. It didn't get going for him last season, but could be a good player, and they spent money on him last season. You never know who Alex Neil's going to play up top. Could be Maguire, could be Barkhazen, sorry, I get in trouble for that. Could be Jaden Stockley as well. I'm looking for Preston to really try and nail down a settled 11, because it's all well and good, this rotation that Neil does, but I think it did hamper them at points last season. Swansea could be a lot of fun this season. That's bold if Corey Smith is actually playing centre-half and Morgan Gibbs-White is not playing at number 10. I'm not sure that shape's correct. And Jamal Lowe is obviously a winger. Surely that's going to be a 4-2-3-1, but we will see. I'm expecting Morgan Gibbs-White to be at number 10 with Ayew and Lowe, but who's going to score the goals? Who's driving the boat? Rhian Brewster out. Quite the shoes to fill there. Get your scores in there. Look forward to Rodden and Cabango. That's a lovely championship centre-half partnership there, even in the absence of Van der Horn. But let's see what Steve Cooper does. Is he going to go 3 at the back? Is he going to go with the back 4? Let's have a look. Preston 2-1. 3-2 Preston. As a Leeds fan, I don't give a damn, but still loving the channel. Welcome back, you Leeds fans. You're always welcome. 3-2 Swans. By the way, Dearly Departed preview show tomorrow during the day. It's a pre-record, but it will be up. 4-1 Swans, said Glenn. Glenn, are you on the booze already? We've had 6-0 and a 4-1 from Glenn, I think. 2-1 Swans, 1-0 Swans, 2-1 Swans, 2-1 Swans. Brewster announced at halftime to come on and score. That would be amazing. That would be like WWE, where you don't even know the guys in the building and just runs in. I would love that. 0-0 says Jason, who I believe is a Patreon as well. Thank you, Jason. 2-1. If you are a Patreon, just write the word Patreon in the comments and I'll give you a shout out. Thank you so much to all of you. Ayew's going to be an interesting one. Still hanging around there. And if he's hanging around there, he's too good for the championship. We know that, don't we? So Brickhand says Swansea getting Gyökeres from Brighton. So going to have a new striker. Okay. Right. That is everybody. Katie is right. Everyone tune in. Game of the season, Ipswich versus Wigan. My team versus Katie's team on Sunday as well. I've got to go to work. I'm starting my shift at 1 p.m. So I'll watch the first half and then I won't be able to see the second half. And ladies and gentlemen, there she is. Shaylee Bakes. The only reason I can do this full time. Bless her. Thank her, everybody, for her support. Because if she was being horrible about this, I'd be having to go to work. She's given me a few months at least. Love you, darling. Charity Treble says Russ. Maybe we can have a look at that, Russ. Strange watch this season. Is it? Oh, I think it's another Leeds fan, possibly. Yes, watch-alongs. No pork loin today, Lee. Oh, by the way, let's go for your questions now. Get your questions in and we'll do some of those. We've already eaten. We had this, what do we have? Fish and sweet potato mash and tomato salsa or something. Very nice, actually. But under 400 calories. I need more food. Right, get your questions in. We'll do some Q&A. Anybody feel less excited about the season compared to normal? Maybe a mix of my poor club and COVID. I'm excited, but then I'm a hyper kind of guy, Oliver. Maybe it is the Huddersfield type situation there. She's a keeper, Ben, more than Jordan Archer. There we go. Predictions in the comments for Ipswich Wigan. What are we predicting? The number of pros that Wigan are going to have. I don't know how many more have signed at Wigan, but yeah, not looking good, is it? Leeds fan and on Patreon. Thank you, Nick, you legend. Give us a shout out for Wednesday, Ben. We will need it. Hey, if Wednesday do it, they'll have all our admiration. -12. Watch Bournemouth, then you will change your prediction. Hey, prepared to be wrong. Just there for the views. And I would hold my hands up and say we've never covered Bournemouth on the channel, so you would know more about them than me. Leeds-Liverpool prediction. It's going to be very open, is all I will say on that one. Top 6 for the Championship. Well, I can reveal now that I had Norwich top. I had Watford second. Who did I have third? Brentford. I had Stoke 4th, Forest 5th, and Cardiff 6th was my was my top 6. I'm not reading that out, Russ, but I'll put it up. There you go. Ben, is it true fans may be allowed back in October? We hope so. I mean, the government are changing stuff as we go, but we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Who do I think will play the most entertaining football this year? Well, Brentford, Norwich, QPR, Barnsley. But I find strange things entertaining, DJ. By the way, go and subscribe to DJ's channel as well. I find Wycombe versus Rotherham entertaining. I love it. I find Paul Warne versus Neil Warnock entertaining. So there you go. With the new signings, where are Bristol City going to finish? I had them 10th, Anir, but we just don't know about Dean Holden. Luton heading for the playoffs, says Steve. Optimistic. Lee says 3-0 Liverpool. Jason, I think your prediction about Wycombe makes sense. Hope Ainsworth gets the season. He deserves it. I was thinking before now with Yeovil in mind. Patreon, thank you, Jason. Ipswich should beat Wigan on Sunday. I hope so. Norwich fan here, Ben. You say we should walk the league, but I can't see it. I think we will finish 6th. There we go. If Sheffield Wednesday make the top 6, I'll have an owl's tattoo. With -12, I think you're fairly safe there. Carl says, I'm a Swansea fan and I fear for us. The only thing I fear for Swansea is the owners just never putting any money in. As Mr. Football, as a Huddersfield fan, we're in a real mess, hoping for a miracle. Huddersfield fans being very honest, very self-aware and very pessimistic. Maybe their pessimism is warranted. Where do I think Bristol City will finish? I had them 10th, William, and that was with caveats as well. Thanks for that, Ben. Much grateful. Where did I put Swansea? 7th or 8th? I think 8th. I can't remember. Go watch the video. Loads of people have. Wonder how hard I have to pray to get a new training ground built for my team. Very hard. You have to divine intervention then has to work, doesn't it? White Hart Dane, who is a Patreon as well. Brilliant. Thank you. Up to 5,000 allowed in at Dane's. 5,000? Wow, season starts tomorrow. Well, come on, Denmark. Fly the flag. I ended up putting £5 on Hull to come up automatically. Returns are in the 3 figures. I'll buy you a collection of wines for the stream. Come on, Hull, except when they're playing Ipswich. Thanks for the shout. Yeah, you're very welcome, D Jam. Wednesday to go down with the points deduction. How long will Monk last? So my theory with Wednesday was that if Izzy Brown gets injured, Chansiri gets flaky with Monk or Monk gets flaky with Chansiri, it could all come crashing down if they have a bad start. If they get 7 points from their first 3 games and someone loses their first 3, everyone's going to be like, it's on. They're 5 points behind. So, yes, Glenn, I can't read that out, but I understand your pain. Not going to get to see Luton Watford. Ben, have you had any approaches for media work? I see people like Ali, who's good, but your knowledge and percent. Oh, thank you. It's very, very kind. No, I haven't. So, yeah, write to your preferred broadcaster and big me up. There we go. As long as they let me say what I want to. Frankly, I would rather earn what I'm earning at the moment and have creative control over what I say than go on the telly and be told what to say. But we don't know that happens, and we'll see. I remember Bournemouth beating Bournemouth in the League One playoffs around 11. Crazy, I think. Yeah, wow. Both teams have been in the Premier League. A Luton moving stadium. Eventually, yeah, they're going to move closer to the M1. Got to stay in the Championship till then. I know. Look, we know about my soft spot for Luton living around this way, but it's a good, honest club with good intentioned ownership. Let's just say. I think Bristol City could get playoffs if Nahki Wells does well. Be very interested, William, to see how this lines up in terms of a number 10 and a front 2 with Palmer and Vyman could possibly both be number 10. Then there's Jeju, Wells and Martin as well. Going to be interesting. Cov, we're used to empty stadiums. I think they will surprise people. Yes, Cov with the ground share. Very weird, wasn't it? City 10th. Annie thinks playoffs. Not started building Power Quarter. Yeah, and they never have an actual date on it either, do they? So, Millwall, the team to watch, says Carl, the Swansea fan. Yes. We've only been slightly on the negative side. 27 wins out of the last. I did say that in my predictions in terms of the trend at Huddersfield has just not been good, has it? I prefer a shout out for Thursday as it's Friday tomorrow. Wednesday is yesterday's history. Oh, God, we're in quantum mode here, wherever we are. Danish football is not bad. I've never seen any, to be honest. Surprise English clubs don't do it more. Who's the first manager to get the chop? Will it be Gary Monk falling out with Chancery? Will it be Dean Holden or Jason Tyndall not being able to cope? If Vladimir Ivic doesn't have 1.6 points per game after 10 games, will the Potsos trigger finger? Will Warnock get fed up at Middlesbrough and walk out? Will Karanka have another huff? Any of those guys, I would have thought. Rumour is Zahor going to be going to Wednesday. That would be a good signing. And he'd work well with Monk and Beattie, wouldn't he? Monk and Beattie always get the best out of strikers. Chancery's son is following. I love these links. So-and-so liked the thing on Instagram. Away he goes. Surely Warnock's going to be in for Ken Zahor as well, isn't he? Yeah, I want Mendes, Lang and Morsey with Warnock. That'd be perfect, wouldn't it? How do I think Alfie Mawson will do? Yeah, I think he'll do much better. Didn't work what Scott Parker wanted to do last season, and Mawson needs a bit of a regeneration there. Keep your questions coming in. I'm loving this. We'll go about another 10 minutes or so here. I'm not doing league predictions until the transfer window shuts. Okay. October the 6th. We will confer then, Katie. Can't see the Owls going down. Got some good players come in. Could do it with Zahor to top it off. Look, if I like Dunkley, obviously he was great. Look, Bannon can be really one of the best progressive passers in the division. Izzy Brown can be fantastic on his day, carrying the ball and threading it through. Can he stay fit? And they just need, I don't know, 1.5, 1.6 points per game over those first 10 games. Get over that 12 points in 10, 11 games. Get over that 12-point hump, and then we will see. Fair point, Hurdy. Yeah, let's not go into that if you've read his book. My knowledge is unbelievable. Thank you. What about a job for the Athletic covering just one club? Again, I wouldn't want to ditch all of you. Look, I'm a businessman here. I'm open to listen to whatever anyone offers. But if it means I have to stop doing all of this, having built up to 12,000 subs, and I've got Patreons now as well, I need to serve. We'll see. It might be the best thing possible for me to just keep doing this and do some other profile stuff. Will you do a revised prediction vid once the window shuts? That might be a good idea. We'll put a poll out here and we'll see if people want that. And as ever on the channel, if people want that, we will give it to them. You can tell Nathan Jones is made for Luton as he left, got the assistant manager took over, didn't stay on. Yeah, maybe. Sometimes it's just a better fit with some people, isn't it? So, fun fact, I used to work in the ITFC program kiosks. Wonderful. When I was 17 at Portman Road. Saw you a few times. Wow. Nice one, Oliver. You should have said hello. Who will the empty stadiums be best for? Well, we don't think teams like Millwall, loud stadiums. But there's a school of thought that empty stadiums might have saved Paul Lambert over at Ipswich, and COVID, worked out well. Obviously, didn't play in an empty stadium, but it works out well. Huddersfield's manager, yeah, indeed. Honest question, do you think with level of a lot of clubs in the Championship is fairly similar at the moment? But parachute payments make it never really that similar, do they? I agreed with the NTT 20 with Ali and George that you do look, you look at those Bournemouth and Norwich and you look at the promoted teams every time. But I will say we said that about Stoke squad in 18-19 and they tanked, didn't they? So there we go. Keep questions coming. Mr. Football says, which team will have the biggest letdown? Well, to go with my predictions, I said Bournemouth because I think there's too many moving parts and Eddie Howe's stability going. Could be wrong about this one. First for the chop, Carlos Corberó for not being Bielsa. There we go. Who is Bielsa? Only Bielsa. So we should all get the chop then. Isn't Warnock trying to get Zahor too? Surely he would be. Surely he would. Bright Samuel to Celtic for 5 million. What's happening with that QPR forever? Because I thought Bruges was nailed on for that. Also, where is Vincent Kompany managing? Is he Bruges boss or is he somewhere else in Belgium? But where did Kim Ruth go? Because he went to Vincent Kompany, didn't we? Haven't had a chance to watch my video on Mendes Lang. Do we know any more details? If we've got any Cardiff in here, let me know. No one knows what's going on with Mendes Lang. We cannot speculate on the internet, so be careful what you put in your comments. All we know is there has been an alleged breach of contract and he has been fired. And we never see football clubs fire players, especially when, they could get £1 million for Mendes Lang if they flogged him, couldn't they? Even with black marked by his name. So, yeah, interesting. Have you been to all of the current championship grounds? I haven't been to Bournemouth. And I haven't been to the Rico, if that still classes for Coventry, Rotherham I've done. I haven't been to Wickham. So there's about 3 I'm missing. Hopefully we'll get to them. Any favourites? I like going to Derby. I like going to Millwall. Obviously I haven't been to New Brentford ground either. So yeah, there's quite a few. Always like, I like Rotherham's ground. No, you're so close in there at Rotherham. No bad seats in there. Good modern build. That one isn't it. Other than Ipswich, which clubs from League One would you love to see in the Championship next year? Well, look, from a completely selfish channel basis, views point of view, Sunderland, Pompey, Oxford. At Sunderland, basically, the ones with those big fan bases, the traditionally big clubs. But hey, may the best team win, and good luck to Wickham and Rotherham, who you would say are smaller teams. Obviously, Coventry were in the top division for nearly 30 years. Cheese on toast. I think Ida, someone help me with the pronunciation, will end up being Norwich's first choice strike over Pookie. Wow. Hey, maybe Pookie gets sold. I wouldn't have thought so, but there we go. Who's going down? Watch by 1 to 24. And you will find out who I think is going to be going down. Sunderland would be big if they came back up. Yes, indeed. They would. Wednesday have taken Kachunga and Brown, 2 huge players in beating them in our promote. Yes, indeed. Brown was great, wasn't he? Not keen on this deadline day bit. No, I don't like it. And I agree with you, Jason. It can't be helped. But no, I don't like it either. Izzy Brown was lazy at Luton. Sheffield Wednesday, welcome to him. I really liked Izzy Brown at Luton, but to Glenn's point, the results did pick up when he was injured at the end of the season, wasn't he? Top goal scorer and top assister. Pookie, top goal scorer, maybe. Watkins has gone from Brentford, hasn't he? Andre Gray, maybe. Watford. We'll have a look. Cod's Vlogs, go and follow him. Great talker for Fleetwood. Elliot, Bournemouth are linked with Dylan Phillips and Carter Vickers. You think they'd be a good fit? Yes. Dylan Phillips was really good for Charlton last season. Very consistent. Okay, he got a lot of practice in a lower table team. But Carter Vickers has gone around a lot of championship clubs on loan at Ipswich, at Sheffield United, Luton and Stoke last season. Always done well. The issue with Carter Vickers, and Bournemouth do have parachute payments, don't they? Remember, has been wages in his contract at Spurs. So I would give a double thumbs up to those two. Elliot going in at Bournemouth. Where do I think Ipswich will finish in Sunderland? Ipswich have got to make the top 8, haven't they? Paul Lambert would be a miserable failure if he fails to make the top 8 again. Sunderland top 5 under Parkinson. Thoughts on Smodic joining Posh? Yeah, like that a lot, Oliver. Him, Dembele and Tony destroyed Ipswich at Portman Road last season. Alex, think empty stadiums help some Millwall players, Leonard and Mahoney. Yeah, that can happen. That is specific to Millwall, and the Donovan brothers who sponsor this video did say about some Millwall players have just gone to bits under that pressure. Do you think any of Norwich's top players will leave before the end of the window? Yes. I don't know how many. Surely someone will take Buendia. Surely Buendia can't do a season in the Championship again. He's way too good. Way too good. And then I can see Pookie staying. Aaron's, surely someone would take Aaron's. So good. Godfrey, not so sure. Campwell, maybe. I don't know. But come on. Buen dia. Neil Etheridge says, Colm. Yes, he's gone in at Birmingham, hasn't he? Company and Ruth for Anderlecht. Thank you, Oliver. Is this the poorest championship lineup for a long time? I know what you mean, just there for views. Because traditionally big clubs, okay, we've got Forest, we've got Derby. No offence to anyone want to say that. I'm talking about historically and big fan bases. Sheffield Wednesday. We've lost Leeds. We've lost Villa. Okay, we've got Norwich back, who in championship terms are a big deal because they always win it. But I suppose Watford have been in the Premier League a while. Bournemouth, well, they've only had one stint there at the top table, haven't they? So please, everybody, listen to the second tier pod. Outstanding stuff there. Go and subscribe on audio there. Which one is better looking, Ryan or Justin? I'm trying to figure out which one has sent that message. They're both beautiful men, absolutely beautiful. They're both. We're talking about 8s or 9s here, but more to the point. Let's just avoid that question and say, everybody here, go and subscribe to the second tier podcast, which I was on a couple of weeks ago. But in all seriousness, superb podcast. There really is some good championship stuff. I would hope this channel included in it as well. Carter Vickers was fantastic at Luton, but can't afford him. Well, Lockyer has gone in there, hasn't he? How's it going? Says Kempy Blue. I'm good, man. I'm good. Apparently, Morsey refusing to play. Anger with administration. That wouldn't be out of character for Morsey, would he? But there we go. Has Forestieri signed for Watford or Udinese? Says Anthony. He's signed for Udinese, but everyone's expecting him to be loaned for Watford. Will I be doing a League One preview on the Ipswich podcast? No, we won't. We're already going with the podcast there. So we're talking Blue Monday podcast. I'll give that a little plug as I did found it. Found it. Is that the right? I was the founder of it. Is that the right adjective? Noun? Verb? My missus literally is an English expert, so she'll be killing me for that. It will be after the Wigan game on Monday morning. It'll be Richard, Dave, and Craig. Turned down Bruges, wanted to go to Premier League club. Okay, Celtic. Celtic and Scotland has been a good route for people. Go and play in front of those tons of fans. Go and win stuff in Scotland. And away you go. If Derby sign Josviak and another striker, where do you think we can finish? Could challenge for playoffs if they get a decent enough striker in. I don't know much about Josviak other than the Derby fans keep asking me about him and telling me a winger, I believe, telling me what a good player he is. No chance either, Will, in terms of being Norwich's first choice guy. Russ, come on. Opinions and facts. If Grant goes from Huddersfield, we're in some big mess. I think that's going to happen, Mr. Football, isn't it? I think they are cashing in. Freeman, top assists. Well, let's see if Lamucci gives him enough rope to do that. Wells, top scorer. Yeah, very consistent. Fleetwood have finally signed a centre-half from Borough, Sam Stubbs. Know anything about him? As much as you do, Ben. Honestly, as much as you do. But you needed one, didn't you? Ipswich 4th, says Hip. I bloody hope so. Deary me. I stop the clocks now and I'll take that. Believe you me. Naki Wells, top scorer. Yeah, there you go. Another one there. Ipswich and Sunderland, top 6. Online prediction, but it's in Danish. Okay, I won't understand a word. Posh and Sunderland to go up autos. Elephant with Norwich is their losing run. Yeah, maybe, but with that squad, they shouldn't be. Blazing Aqua. I think I'm late to the stream. Excited to see how Bristol City will do. I think we're all eager to see what Bristol City is going to do. Where am I looking? Can see Swansea drawing 1-1 at Deepdale for the 3rd season running. Interesting. There is a precedent, apparently. Do you think Man United will get Champions League? Do you think Leeds will finish higher than 15th? He's pitched that really nicely with 15th for Leeds. I think they could finish exactly 15th. I'm not sure about higher. I think you might be a secret Southampton fan. I know nothing about Southampton, apart from they won the FA Cup and the keeper made an amazing save. Stop being so proper. Hey, I'm a proper guy. Founded, started, formed. What do I think about Vladimir Ivic? I'm excited. He looks like a Bond villain. His win percentage for Tel Aviv and PAOK was insane. So he could be great, couldn't he? But he's working for the Potsos, so we'll see. Not sure if you spoke about his thoughts on Burn to Derby. As ever, look, I'll do a transfer update video tomorrow, no doubt, because there'll be another 20 transfers having gone through. Obviously, it's bad for Wigan, but everything's bad for Wigan in administration. He was great, did really good numbers for assists, didn't he? But I do think, Kate, you'll correct us on this. I do think, didn't he get 3 assists in that 8-0 or 8-1 or whatever it was against Hull? But yeah, Bogle's gone, so they need somebody. And it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Fleetwood do well. I hate to say it, but Joey Barton is there. I like Joey Barton's a good manager. Don't confuse the player and certain things he's done with the manager. He's good. Be under no, and I've seen his teams play. Be under no illusions with that. Surprised no one's taken a gamble on Newport striker. How do I say that? Padraig Amond. You're in the know, Carl. I'm not familiar with the player. Matt, sorry, late to the party. Zahor to Wednesday. Yes, this did get mentioned. Yes, I agree. A striker is much needed. Yes, that would be perfect for Beattie and Monk to work with. He's right up their street, isn't he? But surely Warnock's going to come for him, so we'll see. Ida needs a loan, but as a third choice striker, we've struggled to get a decent option, so happy with that role. Yeah, look, if Ida is your first choice striker, your squad's pretty good, I have to say. A lot of other championship teams would take him, but Norwich won't loan to the championship. That'd be silly, wouldn't it? Who do I think Swansea should bring in? Rhian Brewster, but it looks like the Premier League, Liverpool will sell to a Premier League team, so they're probably going to want, well, look, they'd probably get 8-10 million for him, couldn't they? So there we go. Where do I think Harrogate will finish? No idea. No idea. Good luck to them, though. Burn, amazing. I'm not exaggerating. Okay. There you go. Wasn't a flash in the pan. Man United will get 4th. Thoughts on Trump being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize? The one way to split your audience is to mention or any comment on President Trump. So I will move on, Dave. I reckon Lyle Taylor will have a stormer. Not much hype so far. I'm interested, Lewis, to see whether he's Graben's backup or they're going to fit him into a team somehow. It could switch 4-3-3-ish, 4-5-1 without the ball. I'd just be interested because I would love to see an old school. There's one position, you're both really good. May the best person start. And those 2 players for that position will be great. I think Bristol City will do better than Ben's prediction. Go, yeah, I'm happy to be wrong, Matt. Happy to be wrong. Go and get your 1 to 24 in. Really, Katie, that's good then. Bye. Okay. Who's on a charity treble? I don't know, Russ. We're only thinking about it in this video. Thoughts on Liam Walsh? Liam Walsh, this is the guy that was at Cov last season coming back to Bristol City. If I'm right, he was really good at Coventry. So we'll see. But is he not a creative midfielder? And there's Hanno Masengo and Casey Palmer. I suppose Joe Williams will be the sort of number 6, number 8 type thing. Will Watford get promoted? If Ipswich does a competent job, then yes. Will Hughes, yeah, I remember watching Ipswich play Derby under Steve McLaren, and Will Hughes was superb, and that was years and years ago. Have you seen the new Millwall bra? Lots of support, and let's stop it. Delafeo in the Championship we found. Surely he's in the Buendia bracket in the Championship, isn't he? Yeah. Rumour about Max Lowe signing for Millwall. Wonder if it chance of a loan deal. I don't see Max Lowe getting ahead of Ender Stevens anytime between now and Armageddon. So maybe it will happen. If we sign one striker, Josh Viat can really help see us pushing. This is for Derby. Yeah, Derby, Koku couldn't settle on anyone, ended up playing Chris Martin, and he's left. So they really need a striker. Penalty in the 90th minute to win promotion. You're saying any striker in the Championship to take it. Who you picking? Deeney for me. God, it has to be a striker. You want someone who's cool as mustard, don't you? Pookie, I'm always going with. A penalty taker. Where's Mitrovic gone? He was my go-to answer all of last season, wasn't he? Ben Rama to run up the dink it down the middle or something, cool as you like Pirlo would. I don't know. Let's have a look. Russ says, where we go? Penalty, not a Norwich player. Even if it's Pookie, Jesus. Jamal Lowe at Swansea, top assists. Interesting. Good shout. I like it. I like it a lot. Benny's yellow and green. Stop it, Dom. Is that you? Or is that your son maybe in Jordan Rhodes there in the picture? Love it. Surely let the stream decide. Yeah, sounds fun. Sounds fun indeed. And we must give Russ a shout out. Russ will be sponsoring the review show, and he's been a great, staunch supporter of the channel. You're a great guy, mate. Keep up the content. Love it. Coolness under pressure. Lyle Taylor. There we go. And there speaks a Millwall fan about an ex-Charlton player. Lyle Taylor, another one there. There we go. What do we think of Barnsley? Love the video on them staying up. Looking forward to them. Looking forward to them. Right, guys. Let me do a couple of quick plugs and say thank you very much. You can super chat. Look, even if it's 79p, £1, please, super chats. They really, really help the channel. I've got 12,000 subscribers. Really happy about that. But the ad revenue doesn't really kick in until we keep climbing on that. So your super chats are really, 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 really important. So thank you for all of those. And you can go and support on Patreon. A lot of people have for $3 a month or $5 a month. It's nothing. It's a pie. It's a pint. Amazon.co.uk/shop/the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. You can go and buy stuff there. If you want a shout out, get in the comments right now and I'll give you a shout out before we go. What do we got here? Don't mention. I didn't say his name. He who shall not be mentioned. See you, Katie. Bradaz Leeds 2020. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly get in there now if you want a shout out. And here, great supporter, Bristol City of the channel there. Triple A says bye. Let Wazza take the view. Rooney. One of my funnest moments of last season was just laughing as Rooney Panenka a penalty down the middle, and I was side on in that big stand at Derby. I just laughed. It was just funny, brilliant penalty. So yeah, Rooney is not a bad shout. Night to Anthony and Alex. I will say thank you so much for joining us. I need to give a quick plug. James, Anthony, QPR, Alex, Triple A. Rhodes is a nice guy. Doesn't do it as much as a footballer here. Bradaz, I think we said him, didn't we? Join us tomorrow night, 7:30. Championship opener, Watford v Vladimir Ivic v Neil Warnock. Will Colin just teach him a lesson? Cool as mustard, Ben. I think you mean custard. There we go. I think he likes his custard. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to White Hart Dane, who's a Patreon. Shout out to Hip. Yes, let's a quick mention for John Obi Mikel at Stoke. We're going to see him. Russ, thank you. And Carl. Right. Join us tomorrow, 7:30 for Watford versus Borough in the watch-alongs. You know it's going to be great. You know it's the Championship. We didn't get let down last season, did we, by the opening game? Luton 3 and Borough 3 there in the opening game last season as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I will see you all tomorrow night. Over and out.